Hello again, IB Psychology students, and this is the 9th video in our Cognitive Approach Starter Topic series. This particular topic is from the higher level extension, the effects of digital technology on emotion and cognition. So the key questions are, how does technology affect our emotions, and is technology a positive or negative influence on our emotional state? Please note that this starter is linked to two studies which investigate the role of VRET, which is virtual reality exposure therapy, on PTSD. So if you are not doing this topic, it's still quite a nice way into looking at how technology can be used in a beneficial way to help an extreme emotional state. So even if you're teaching this topic and you're interested in this as a kind of little extra topic to look at, then that's great. But if you are going to be looking at the VRET studies, then obviously this is an ideal way into that. Now, there are two film clips here for you to watch. Your teacher will obviously pause this presentation as you watch the clips, the film clips. And as you're watching them, it might be a good idea to make some notes. And those notes are along the lines of, what emotional long-term impact might the events depicted in these films have on the people concerned? Now, these are two clips from films about combat in the Middle East, the war in Iraq, Afghanistan. So they are essentially violent. They involve armed combat, explosions, shooting. So you obviously, if you feel this is going to be too distressing for you to watch, then obviously you have the right to withdraw from this part of the lesson. Obviously, I'll leave that up to you and to your teacher. And you want to maybe ask yourself, if you do watch the scenes, what possible psychological problems might someone suffer as a result of the sort of experiences that are shown in the films? So I will leave it up to you whether you wish to watch the scenes. I mean, they're not horrific that they'll give you nightmares, but they are films about war. So obviously up to you, you choose what to do. So if your teacher pauses the PowerPoint presentation here, and you can then go and watch those films. Okay, so this is the last part of one of the last parts of this presentation. What is PTSD? Is it A, a form of modern dance? Is it B, something you put on a cheese sandwich? Or does it stand for post-traumatic stress disorder? I think you can probably guess which one it stands for. So have a quick research on what PTSD is and how it's manifest. So how is it shown in behaviour? So at this point, again, you might want to pause the PowerPoint if you're watching it on your own at home, or your teacher is running this with you, and have a quick research on what PTSD should be in there, what PTSD is. Okay, so you probably found the following. So PTSD is something that follows an extremely traumatic event. It may follow it immediately, or it may be something that the person experiences days, weeks, months, or maybe even years after the event. It is entirely dependent on the individual, on the nature of the event, and on other factors such as, where the individual is, where they're living, their job, their age, whether they're old, young, married, single, all of these factors, and internal factors such as personality and other kind of biological factors that you know all about, the various factors that affect people in terms of their behaviour. So PTSD is not one size fits all, but PTSD does tend to show itself in similar symptoms such as these here. But it will depend very much on the individual. Some people will just repress the traumatic event and then it may come out years later. Some people may be able to devote themselves to an activity such as their job or their family so that they can try and block out the traumatic event with constant activity and behaviour. They may try and drown their PTSD in drink or take drugs. It will really depend on all of the different factors that surround that particular individual. Okay, so the final part of these starter tasks is looking at what VRET is. You are all digital natives. You know what virtual reality is. And over the past 20 or so years, virtual reality exposure therapy has become a treatment for extreme emotional states such as PTSD, phobia, high states of anxiety. But the context we're looking at it in is combat, people who have been in armed combat and the effects of that upon them. So this presentation is going to end with you watching this video here. So if your teacher clicks on this image here, then you can watch an example of virtual reality exposure therapy in action. And then you may or may not go on to look at the studies. You may just have enjoyed this as a little kind of sidebar extra topic. Okay, enjoy the video.